Fred Allen Show. Brought to you by Pana Toothpaste for the smile of beauty, Sal Hepatica for the smile of health. An hour of smiles with Fred Allen, folks. 3,600 seconds of fun and music. Fun with our star comedian, Fred Allen. With our guest, Captain Knight, famous authority on Eagle. Music with Peter Van Steeden, the Merrimacs, and Win Murray. The time has come. It's the Fred Allen Show. Whereas we are gathered here to see a show, and whereas said show is ready to be performed, and whereas the overture of said show is You Little Heartbreaker You, and whereas this is no time for whereasing, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring you a man who is known to most people as an actor. During the past week, however, he has been appointed a police officer at Old Orchard Beach, Maine.
Yes, sir.
So tonight, we present Constable Fred Allen in person.
Thank you. Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're under arrest, brother. I didn't do nothing. You won't talk, eh? But shut up, honest, Carver, shut up. Get in that wagon, you. Hey, how do I sound, Harry?
Oh, swell,
Get
Fred.
my voice ready for the beach, you know.
I know.
The beat at Old Orchard is 2 steps, by the way. I forgot to tell you.
Well, I don't know. You'll certainly make a bully policeman this summer,
Yes,
Fred.
sir. If the select men at Old Orchard Beach want to stamp out crime...
You've got the feet for it.
Oh,
yes.
and how I do. Very good. I wet them and put out forest fires when I get going. Old Orchard is in for a reign of law and order, Harry. Any soda fountain that sells Bevo after 9 o'clock this summer is as good as padlocked right now.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you know what Bevo is.
Oh, yes.
You're the one. I just wanted to make sure.
Well, tell me, Fred, will you have to carry a gun?
A gun in Old Orchard? Well, don't be silly, Harry. The chief of police there only carries a bow and arrow. I'll probably just have a slingshot or a bean blower or something.
Or a rattan.
Oh, I don't know, Harry. I may get a water pistol to get the drip on criminals there. I'll decide when I get up there. You know, I used to know the underworld in Old Orchard, but I think he got a job. I heard that the underworld was working. Well, it's quite an honor, isn't it, Harry?
Yes, it sure is. And speaking of honors, Fred, I've got some more good news for you tonight.
You're not kidding, Harry.
No, this is serious, Fred. During a recent poll taken at Fordham University, one of the questions asked the Fordham students was, who is your favorite radio comedian?
Yeah, and who won, Harry?
Well, now that I can't tell you, Fred, but I have a gentleman here who will be glad to explain everything.
Fine.
Fred, I want you to meet Mr. John A. Howe, president of the New Jersey Club of Fordham University.
Well, I'm glad to know you, Mr. Howe. You bear tidings?
Yes, Fred. The purpose of my visit is to hail you as Fordham's favorite radio comedian. I have a little plaque here, which we would like to present to you for having been voted favorite comedy personality in a poll of the 8,000 students at Fordham University conducted by our club.
Well, that's very nice, Mr. Howe. I hope there won't be an investigation demanded when this news reaches a certain party out in Hollywood.
No investigation will be necessary, Fred. The poll was conducted fairly, and you were judged preeminent in your field by a substantial margin. So the boys of Fordham University take pleasure in presenting this plaque to their favorite comedian with the thanks of the entire student body for 4 years of splendid radio entertainment.
Well, thank you a lot. Well, thank you, Mr. Howe, and convey my sincere thanks to Fordham for this tribute and to the students for their loyalty and interest in our program. You take a look at my plaque, Harry. Isn't that swell?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh,
Fred.
boy, will Benny be sore when he hears about this. You know, he'll probably try to get the student body at the Mansell Talcott Barber College at Waukegan to let him win a pole, a barber's pole or something. You remember Benny, don't you?
Well, vaguely, yes.
He used to be a comedian, but what is he today? A straight man for Orson Welles.
Yes. By the way, Fred, did you read that Jack had signed up for next season?
And the Republicans say if they get in, it'll be a good year. Well, so much for the news of the moment, Harry, and now for the latest news of the week. Ipana News presents The World in Review. Albany, New York. Measure is introduced in New York State Legislature to eliminate billboards from state scenic highways. Ipana News takes billboard controversy to the man on the street. The question, should billboards be removed from all state highways? First, Mr. Bobbin Haddock. What is your opinion, Mr. Haddock?
I say leave the billboards be.
Well, don't you think billboards mar the natural beauty of our countryside?
Nah, nature is corny, brother.
Nature is corny.
Yeah, it's repetitious. When you seen one tree, you've seen them all.
I know, but after all, nature...
I tell you, billboards is man's salvation.
Can you back up this startling statement?
Why, certainly. Let me show you. Supposing a guy is driving along and he gets a heartburn.
Yeah?
He's slumped over the wheel, his head is hanging out the window, he's gasping for air.
Yeah?
He sees something.
What?
A billboard. Says, Sweeney's solution scuttles stubborn stomachs.
Amazing.
He pulls up at the next filling station, gets a shot of Sweeney's solution.
And?
Thanks to billboards, his heartburn is a gastric memory among his stomach's souvenirs.
I see now why you champion the outdoor sign.
Yeah, I gotta put up a fight, brother. If billboards come down, I'm through.
Oh, I didn't know you were in the business. You paint billboards, do you?
You're warm, brother.
You design them?
You're getting hot, brother.
Well, what is it you do?
Can you keep this under your hat?
Honor bright. Tell me, what is it you do?
You know them big faces on billboards?
Yeah?
I put mustaches on them.
Get out of here, you bum, and thank you, Mr. Bobbin Haddock. A professional busybody who has started hundreds of anti-movements is Mrs. Balfour Testy. You are making anti-movements your life's work, Mrs. Testy?
I am anti-everything.
You look it, I must say.
At the moment, I am anti-billboard.
Have you taken action?
I certainly have. Last week, I started 2,000 women on a protest march to Albany. Every woman was blindfolded.
Blindfolded? Why?
To prevent contamination. Blindfolded, they couldn't read the billboards on the way.
Diabolically clever.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The girls left for Albany last Wednesday.
Have they arrived at Albany yet?
No, unfortunately, they took a left turn at Poughkeepsie.
And where are your 2,000 blindfolded girlfriends now?
A wire came this evening.
Yes?
They're marching through Elkhart, Indiana. Still going strong.
On their way to Albany?
Yes, they're making it the hard way.
Aren't we all? And thank you, Mrs. Balfour Testy. A motorist who is for billboards, but with reservations, is Mr. Rancid McNally. How do you... The name fits you, I must say. How do you feel about billboards, Rancid?
Well, billboards are antiquated. If the billboard is to survive, it has got to be streamlined.
Well, how do you mean?
We're living in an age of speed. Digest magazines, minute rub, instant post 'em. Motorists speed along the road. They can't slow down to read a billboard.
Oh, and you think...
Yes, billboards should be brief. 1 or 2 words. Like Ipana excels. You whiz by, you get the message, you're sold.
I can see that long ads on billboards are futile.
Not only futile, but positively dangerous.
Dangerous? You have had a disastrous experience?
Let me tell you what happened.
Do.
Last fall.
I almost didn't get that in.
Last fall, I was driving home from a Yale game.
Yeah.
I was in second, doing 90. I passed billboard.
You passed the billboard.
Yes.
Could you read it?
Only the top line. It said, "You cannot do without."
Without what?
I didn't know. It aroused my curiosity. I jammed on my brakes. I threw her in reverse.
To get back to finish reading the billboard?
Yes, I'm backing up, doing 85.
Yes.
And there's a New York bus rounding the bend. Bang!
Were you badly hurt?
My rear end had to be completely overhauled.
And what was the last line on the billboard?
What was that?
What was the sentence?
90 days for reckless driving.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rancid McNally. And now a poet who has written hundreds of advertising jingles sums up the billboard situation in rhyme, presenting the poet laureate of the Boston Post Road, Thorndike Swinburne. Are you ready to gush, Dactyl Thorndike?
Yes. Poetically, I'm confident. Personally, I shrink.
Well, so much for self-analysis, Thorndike. What about your poem?
Yestereve, I was crouched beneath a billboard, watching a tomtit worry a twig.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly it came to me, and I jotted it down.
You did. What is your poem called?
The billboard soliloquy, or what shall we say when spring has come?
Go right ahead.
Oh, what shall we say when spring has come? That spring has sprang, or that spring has sprung. A song you sing when sang is sung. A ping-pong ball when pinged is pong. But what shall we say when spring has come?
Well, wait a minute. Where does the billboard come
Oh, what shall we say when spring has come?
in? The billboard.
A bell you ring when rang has rung.
I know, but
A
the thing...
fling you flang when flang is flung.
Billboard
A
is the-
sting that stang when stang is stung.
You told me it was
But
about
what
the-
shall we say when spring has come?
I'd say scram.
Very well. I've scrubbed.
And just in time, poet Thorndike Swinburne. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Merrimacs gather at their microphone to sing for you Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho.
Battle of Jericho. Joshua faced the Battle of Jericho. Joshua faced the Battle of Jericho. Jericho, Jericho. Joshua faced the Battle of Jericho, and the walls come tumbling down. And the walls come tumbling down. You may talk about your king of Gideon. You may talk about your man of Saul. There's none like good old Joshua at the Battle of Jericho. Up to the walls of Jericho, he marched with a spear in hand. Come blow them ram horns, Joshua cried, 'cause the battle am in my hand. Joshua fit the Battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the Battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the Battle of Jericho. Then the ram sheep horns began to blow, the trumpets began to sound. Joshua commanded the children to shout, and the walls come a-tumbling down. And the walls come tumbling down. That morning, Joshua fit the Battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the Battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the Battle of Jericho, and the walls come a-tumbling down. Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fit the Battle of Jericho. Joshua commanded all the children to shout. The trumpets began to sound, and the walls come a-tumbling down.
Thank you. And now for the Mighty Allen extravaganza entitled by some happenstance, The First Day of Spring, complete with sound effects. A production in scope and imagination worthy of a Reinhardt. The time, today, Wednesday, March 20th. The sound effects in order of their appearance, a brook gurgling, robin singing, crocus popping, man sneezing. And Harry Von Zell advising.
Those annoying colds, ladies and gentlemen, that so often bloom in the spring should never be neglected. At the very first sniffle or sneeze, take sparkling Sal Hepatica, because Sal Hepatica helps fight colds faster. That's why it's recommended by so many doctors. As a matter of fact, in a recent impartial survey among physicians conducted by leading medical journals, it was found that 7 out of 10 physicians recommend a saline laxative when treating a cold. And Sal Hepatica, we believe, is the outstanding saline laxative in America. There are 2 very good reasons for this, which you can check with your own doctor. First,
Sal Hepatica acts quickly, yet it is exceptionally gentle.
and since the progress of a cold is fast, this greater speed of Sal Hepatica is especially important in fighting it. Second,
Sal Hepatica also helps nature counteract the acidity that so often accompanies a cold.
so get an economical bottle of Sal Hepatica from your druggist and always keep it on hand for quick cold fighting service. Remember, for faster action in treating colds, take Sal Hepatica.
Thank you. You have just heard Chant of the Jungle, played by Chief Van Steeden and his Tribal 12. Say, the next time you're out headhunting, Chief Van Steeden, you ought to get one for yourself, as long as you're going out. And now, scarcely waiting for the laughter to subside, we save all that time right in there. We turn to our... Oh, hello, Portland.
Hello.
Say, what smells so nice? I never...
It's me.
Really?
Mama and I spent all last week at the flower show.
No kidding. What was new at the flower show this year? Were they using Johnson's wax on the flora?
Oh, it was wonderful. They had all kinds of flowers. Narcissus, chrysanthemums, rhododendrons.
It was sort of an ungrammatical blossom montage, this whole thing, wasn't it?
They had every rose there but Silly.
They did?
Mhm.
I know. I heard they had every bloom there but Saul. See, neither of those guys are known. I thought somebody was right. Just goes to show you.
There was a big pussy willow with a lot of little pussy willows. Kitty willows.
Kitty willows? Mm-hmm. Who writes your stuff now? Is that same fellow who fell on his head at the age of 21 and caught up with his second childhood in a hurry. Did you see any of that new plant food, that vitamin B1 over there, that stuff that's supposed to pep up the plants?
No, but I saw a violet they gave it to.
Oh, a violet that had been treated with vitamin B1. Was the violet still shrinking?
No, it was throwing pollen in a tiger lily's face.
I read that they used some of that vitamin B1 on a sunflower at the flower show, and the sunflower went out looking for Alf Landon.
A sunflower like that might run alone this year.
Say, on the Republican ticket, it might come out Dewey. Say, there are people here at that. You had me fooled. I couldn't tell. I thought my astigmatism was bobbing in white. Say, did your mother buy any flowers at the show?
No, but Mama's going to have a little garden. She talked to the landscape man.
Oh, and he's going to lay out a miniature garden for your mother?
Yes. It's 4 plants and a little moat.
Oh, across your brook at home, they're going to have a moat?
A moat and 2 pair of plants.
A moat and 2... You know, jokes like that are going to bring back the Nickelodeon. You just keep going. Now, what about our guest?
Our guest tonight is the world's foremost authority on eagles.
An eagle authority? Well, wherever did you bump into an eagle expert?
Well, I heard him on Hobby Lobby last Sunday, so I invited him over. Mr. Allen, meet Captain Charles Knight.
Well, good evening, Captain Knight.
Good evening, Fred.
Well, this is rather a surprise, Captain. I thought if he raises me one, I'll raise him some. I didn't know that you were... I didn't know that you were bringing your eagle with you tonight.
Oh, yes, my eagle wanted to meet you, Fred.
He did?
This is Mr. Ramshaw.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ramshaw. Mr. Ramshaw, he doesn't seem to be warming up to me, Captain.
No, Mr. Ramshaw doesn't make friends very quickly, but he won't hurt you. I'll give him my word.
Your word? If I can get the eagle's word, I'll feel a little more secure. You know, you're sure Mr. Ramshaw likes it there on your wrist? He looks a little hungry.
Oh, there's no danger, old boy. Mr. Ramshaw's just eating.
Fine. Well, first, Captain Knight, your military title and bearing tell me that you have seen service.
Yes, Fred, I served in the British Army in the last war.
And after the war, you took up the study of bird life?
That's right. And today I'm touring the country, lecturing and showing films on the eagle. Do you know anything about eagles, Fred?
All I know about an eagle is enough to keep away from one. I am a man who hears no eagle, sees no eagle, and speaks no eagle. Yeah, one more. The nearest I have ever been to an eagle in my life is right now, Captain. And one more false move out of Mr. Ramshaw. Yeah. And that was me going through Stamford.
You really should make a study of the eagle, Fred.
Well, there's no time like the present to start, Captain. How many species of this bloated sparrow are there?
Well, there are countless varieties of eagle. The most common type in America are the bald and the golden eagles. Mr. Ramshaw here is a golden eagle.
A golden. He's sort of tarnished a little, isn't he? Well, is the golden eagle variety ferocious in its natural state?
Oh, yes, quite ferocious. I've seen 2 young golden eagles kill each other in a fight, with the mother bird looking on calmly all the time.
The mother looking on.
Mm-hmm.
Proving that an eagle's best friend is his father. Well, what do these 10th Avenue canaries eat beside each other?
Oh, they live on rabbits and grouse and small lambs. In fact, anything that they can carry away safely.
What method do they employ in catching? He's looking at me again, Captain. Do something to entertain them until this is over. What method do they employ in catching their prey?
It's all very simple, really. You see, the eagle flies round looking for game, and when it spies a victim, it swoops down and sinks its talons right into it.
And then it's blitzkrieg, eh?
Oh, that's putting it rather mildly, Fred. You see, the eagle's talons have a deadly grip.
Yes, I was just looking at those skin stilettos on Mr. Ramshaw there. I'd like to have his claws in my contract, Captain. Mr. Ramshaw is looking around, Captain. He isn't getting hungry by any chance, is he?
Oh, I don't think so, Fred.
You know, Uncle Jim is pigeon-toed, and if Mr. Ramshaw... What are you doing with those uptown boots on, Uncle Jim? Did you see those Sunday and Muncie, Indiana shoes on? Uncle Jim is... Uncle Jim is... I know, an Army and Navy store closing out, Jack. Uncle Jim is pigeon-toed now, and if Mr. Ramshaw is nearsighted, he's apt to defoot Uncle James when we're not looking.
Oh, no, the bird's just getting a bit restless, that's all.
Well, I hope it isn't something he expects to eat. He certainly is well-behaved for so savage a fowl. How were you ever able to tame him, Captain?
Well, fortunately, I got him when he was quite young. Still, the actual training was a very slow and tedious process.
And now that Mr. Ramshaw has attained his majority, don't you ever have any trouble handling him?
Well, occasionally he does get a bit awkward. He'll take a nip at me or dig into me with his claws.
Oh, is that why you wear that thick glove to protect your hand and arm when Mr. Ramshaw goes to town?
Yes, Fred.
Goes out stepping?
But when the old boy's in a tantrum, he's apt to pinch me right through the glove.
Bite the hand that needs him, hey? Well, what does a community-broken eagle eat, Captain?
All different meats, as a rule. Mr. Ramshaw's favorites are steak and beef.
Good. I thought you might throw him an acquaintance occasionally. Now, you said a moment ago, Captain, that you take Ramshaw here around the country with you on all of your lecture tours.
Yes, we've traveled from coast to coast, Fred.
Well, don't you ever have any trouble checking into hotels with him? What happens when you walk up to the desk with that King Kong robin on your wrist and say, I'd like to have a double room with a nest?
I never have any trouble, Fred.
Well, where do you quarter him? In your room?
Sometimes. Up on the roof.
What would happen if he ever escaped?
He did escape. Right here in New York.
Really? How did it happen?
Well, Ramshaw and I live at the Hotel Gotham on 55th Street, and I generally keep him out on the roof.
Yes?
And one day I went up to the roof, and Ramshaw was gone. I looked about, and there he was, circling about over Radio City.
Well, that's probably how he got talked into going on Hobby Lobby last time. Hobby Lobby booked. Wait a minute, I was speaking to him now. You know, Hobby Lobby books some of their acts beckoning to people from a window. But what do you do with Mr. Ramshaw? What did you do with Mr. Ramshaw loose? Phone the American Airlines?
No, I notified the police department, and in no time every radio car in New York was out looking for him.
Well, who finally caught him? Some fly car?
No, Ramshaw got... he got tired. He came down that evening, and he was found perched in a taxi cab which was going up Madison Avenue.
Probably looking for a taxidermist to give himself up. Well, Captain... Captain, it's... If that eagle knew what was going on here, he'd be out to three of us in no time. It's been nice of you, Captain, to stop off on your lecture tour and bring Mr. Ramshaw in tonight. Now, before you go, I wonder if you could have Mr. Ramshaw give us a sample of his flying prowess.
Oh, yes, I think perhaps he might enjoy a short flight around the stage here. Now, stand back, Fred.
You bet.
Are you ready, Ramshaw? Go!
Excellent. A perfect three-claw landing. I'm surprised that Ramshaw didn't land on Van Stevens' bandstand. Any bird ought to go for the corn in Van Stevens' music. Well, thanks a lot, Captain.
Good night, Fred.
Good night, and thank you a lot, Captain Charles Knight. The eagle just, I didn't know the eagle was cross-eyed. He was flying for that, you see. How are you going to get him down, Captain? Looks as though he might go with the lease in here after that.
I'll take him down there.
All right. You get him down the back way, will you? All right, thanks. Mr. Ramshaw is up there, but with his back turned to the program, I guess he's seen all that interests him. Miss Win Murray, I'll keep my eye on the eagle wing. You can take care of the singing. Miss Win Murray is... This is apt to be a half-hour program tonight. All we need is Mr. Ramshaw to make his own station break, and we'll make it. Captain Knight is going to borrow a cow to get Mr. Ramshot down. Miss Wynne Murray will attempt to sing When Love Beckoned on 52nd Street.
I used to dream of a starlighted stream where my man and I would first meet. Try to surmise my terrific surprise when love beckoned in 52nd Street. I thought a breeze would appear in the trees and sing something tender and sweet. How could it sing with a band playing swing when love beckoned in 52nd Street? Now when we want to coo, country lanes are taboo, and Old West 52 is our favorite beat. So you can bet I shall never forget that mad second when I first reckoned that love beckoned in 52nd Street. I don't want to cause a shock in the house, but I'd like to know, is there a doc in the house who will give first aid to the most confused maid in town? I had such sweet suburban ideas. You know what I mean, Deanna Durbin ideas. Till one fatal night when somebody suddenly spoke and broke them all down. I thought a breeze would appear in the trees and sing something tender and sweet. But how could it sing with a band playing swing when love beckoned in 52nd Street? Now when we want to coo, country lanes are taboo, and Old West 52 is our favorite beat. So you can bet I shall never forget that mad second when I first reckoned that love beckoned in 52nd Street.
Thank you. And now, it's all right. We'll get Mr. Ramshaw down. We just phoned to book a steeplejack for next week. He'll take care of it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Someone once said that the world stands aside to make way for the man who knows where he's going. And so tonight it gives me great pleasure to make way for a man who knows what he's talking about. Harry Von Zell.
Don't ever neglect a cold. At the very first sign of a cold, get after it immediately with the faster help of sparkling, what's the name?
Fred Allen, remember?
No. The name of I'm awfully sorry, that eagle has upset me. I can't remember the name of what it is that helps fight colds faster. It slipped my mind.
Well, it'll come to you. Go ahead, Harry.
Well, yes, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, this famous product acts very quickly, yet it's exceptionally gentle. And since the progress of a cold is very fast, the greater speed of what it is I'm talking about is especially important in fighting your cold. And that's not all. This, the name will come to me in a minute. It also helps nature counteract the acidity that so often accompanies a cold. And, ladies and gentlemen, you can check these facts with your own doctor.
You'd better check the name, too, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Fred, you know what I'm talking about,
Why,
don't you?
certainly, Harry. You're talking about America's outstanding saline laxative.
That's it, Fred. And the name is...
The name is, So Many Physicians Recommend It.
Yes. And it helps fight colds faster. But what is the name?
Well, here's a pretty to-do. Wait, Harry. There must be somebody around here who knows. If there is, will you please tell us confidentially?
Sal Hepatica!
That's it, Sal Hepatica. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
The Fred Allen Show will continue after a brief pause for your station identification. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the question of the week. This is Mr. and Mrs. Average Man's Round Table, where three persons selected from our studio audience are invited to give their opinions on a question that concerns some prominent issue of the day. These little sessions are entirely unrehearsed. Fred has taken his place there at the round table, where he meets his fellow debaters for the first time. Are you ready, Fred?
Yes, thank you, Harry. If Portland will kindly introduce our first guest.
Yes, Mr. Richard L. Breen from Fordham, New York.
Oh, I know. I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Breen earlier this evening, Portland. He came down with Mr. Howe from Fordham University. Mr. Howe presented me with this little plaque here. Mr. Breen, Mr. Howe tells me that you are the editor of the Fordham College paper. Is that correct?
That's true, in my more idle moments.
In your idle moments. Well, the name of the paper, what is the name of it again?
The Fordham Ram.
The Fordham Ram. That's a peculiar name for a college paper, isn't it? Does the name have any particular significance?
Well, yes, it does. That is the mascot, a small, shaggy, rotund little beast that gallops around the polo grounds every week. And
that is the Fordham mascot?
Yes.
Well, don't you find that editing the school paper, how often does it come out?
Once a week if things go as they might go.
If things go all right, huh? Well, don't you find that it interferes with your school work, or does it?
No, not perceptibly.
It doesn't. You're coming out even on both counts, I imagine. Well, Tommy, what I really wanted to ask you about tonight was the poll. Was this poll at Fordham on the level?
Well, a Fordham man, like a Boy Scout and a G-man, is always truthful.
Yes?
With the exception of one or two abnormal psychology professors found ward healing for our friend Benny, I think the whole thing was pretty much on the level.
Well, I think a psychologist would be interested in Mr. Benny, hoping to make an Exhibit A of him in later life, I imagine. How did the comedians come out? Do you remember offhand?
You were first with, I think, more than half of the votes, the entire 8,000.
That's right.
With the aid of Carmichael, Mr. Benny was second.
A bare majority there.
And Fibber McGee was third, and fourth, proving that it does not spring eternal in the human breast, Mr. Bob Hope.
Well, that's very nice. Thanks a lot, Mr. Breen. I know Mr. Benny's blood is going to boil when he can get around to getting the blood together. You know, getting mad for Jack is sort of a ritual. First, his blood can't boil. First, he has to get a transfusion, and then he gets mad, and his blood... It's about a 3-day process for Jack to get mad. He's so anemic, really, that when things happen, he can't blush. He turns sort of a dirty white. Rather a Pittsburgh Blanche, I would say. Well, thanks a lot, Mr. Breen. Now, who's next, Portland?
Mrs. Leah Walsh from New York City.
Well, good evening, Mrs. Walsh.
Good evening, Mr. Walsh.
You live in New York, do you?
Yes, I live in New York.
Do you work here, do you?
No, I'm a housewife.
A housewife? Well, somebody should coin a new term for the housewife in New York. So so few people have houses. Most everyone lives in apartments. They should coin a name like duplex frau or something like that to replace the housewife. Well, it's rather risky to live in New York these days with so much building and tearing down going on. You're apt to go to sleep at night in an apartment and wake up on the scaffold of a new building. You have to be...
I don't think so.
Oh, don't you really?
No.
Well, so many neighborhoods are changing around here. They tell me that the street guide is putting out a daily edition. I don't know how much. Well, all right, thank you, Mrs. Walsh. And now, Portland?
Mr. Milton Evans from Great Neck, Long Island.
Great Knock, Long Island. Well, you might as well coin a town while you're at it. You've coined everything else. Well, Mr. Evans, may I ask your profession or business or...
Mr. Allen, I am General Sales Manager of the Enduro Company.
The Enduro Company?
That's right.
What is that?
Well, the Enduro Company manufactures the new Enduro permanent reed for saxophones.
Oh, a new reed for saxophones?
That's right.
What sort of a reed is it?
Well, this is a permanent reed, Mr. Allen.
Oh, a permanent. You buy one reed and it lasts you a lifetime?
Well, it will last indefinitely.
Indefinitely. No one has died with an Enduro reed in his hand, so you can't say. What is it made out of that it lasts so long?
Well, you see, Mr. Allen, it's made out of a new scientific discovery and developed and called tonalin.
Tonalin. And the tone is just as good as the eagle has finally come to life. I think as long as Mr. Evans, I want to congratulate you. You were the first one to get a rise out of the eagle since he got up there. And I think as long as the eagle is a bird of prey, that we have just better discontinue the question and start praying. Thanks a lot. I won't even have time to do the question. Thank you. That's unfortunately, we didn't have time to get to the question tonight. We have a loose eagle in the studio. Mr. Rockefeller's hurriedly building a lot of ad-lib exits here. So much time has been taken up with the Captain Knight around there with a pound of hamburger. Tried to get... Captain Knight was there with a minute steak a minute... Well, now you see what happens. Captain Knight was back there with a minute steak a little while ago, but it was too well done, and the eagle sent it back. Now, he just arrived with the proper steak, and I can assure you that Captain Knight has the eagle or vice versa. Now, the significance, meantime, we have no question on the program. But we did have a question, were we going to get out of here alive, but that's been said. The significance of the title of the next Merrimack song, ladies and gentlemen, escapes me, but perhaps you folks can figure it out. The song is Johnson Rag.
There goes the Johnson Rag, hoy hoy. There goes the latest shag, ho ho. It really isn't a gag, hep hep. There goes the Johnson Rag, jump jump. Don't let your left foot drag, cheep cheep. It's like a game of tag, joop joop. It's even good for a stag, jump jump. And do the Johnson Rag. If you're feeling in the groove, it sends you out of the world. Funny how it makes you move. I don't want to call, but don't be a mug. Zig zig, banana zig zig zag, zoom zoom. Just let your shoulders wag, zoom zoom. And now it's right in the bag. Get happy with the Johnson Rag. Johnson blood, Mississippi mud, black bottom, I got 'em. Lindy hop, chop, 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 Mr. Charlotte Root, turn on the juice. There goes the Johnson Rag, there goes the latest shag. It really isn't a gag, hep, 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 hep. There goes the Johnson Rag. Don't don't let you laugh or drag. It's like a game of tag. It's even good for a stag. Jump, 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 jump. It doesn't rag. If you're feeling in the groove, it sends you right out of the world. Funny how it makes you move. I don't want to cope, but don't be a mope. Zig, zig. That had a zig, zig, zag. Zoom, zoom. Just like the shoulders wag. Zoom, zoom. It's right in the bag. Get hip. Get happy, get happy. Hep, 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 hep. Get happy with a Johnson rag.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the famous G-men and how they operate. Well, tonight, we're going to the other end of the alphabet and bring you a Y-man. He's yours, Harry.
A Y-man?
Yes, Harry.
Oh, how do you do, sir?
Hello.
What did Fred mean by calling you a Y-man?
Because I'm a fellow who wants to know the why and wherefore of everything.
Oh.
Like, for instance, this toothpaste you recommend.
Ipana toothpaste?
Yes. Why do you talk about it every week?
Well, because we sincerely believe that we have a health message of vital importance to every one of our listeners.
Well, why do you think your listeners will be interested?
Well, now, you know as well as I do how important clean, sound teeth and strong, firm gums are to your health and to your looks, too. And Ipana toothpaste is especially made when used with massage to help strengthen your gums as well as brighten your teeth.
Well, why is it so necessary to do both?
Oh. Well, you see, our teeth are seldom bright when our gums are tender and undernourished. And since many of the foods we all eat are soft and creamy, they just don't give our gums the toning and stimulation they need for health. That's why so many dentists recommend massaging the gums with Ipana toothpaste. It is an easy, modern health routine that's growing in popularity every day.
Why,
Why what?
What's the name of that again?
Ipana toothpaste. And once you get a tube from your druggist and begin using it regularly, you'll readily understand why Ipana is the largest selling toothpaste in America today.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the mastodonic Allen Odd Players. This little group, to celebrate Easter, will lay colored eggs at this one performance only. Tonight they present a radio travesty on that popular radio program, The Pot of Gold. This is called The Tub of Silver. Music, maestro.
And so to the tinny strumming of their beaverboard guitars and their off-key native farewell, we say aloha to the Fink Finance Company, Hawaii. The Fink Finance Company invites you to tune in again next week, unless they've taken back your radio. Good night, Evo Beano.
This is station CORN. The correct time is now... Hey, Bulliver, wake up.
What's the matter?
You're on, Bulliver.
Oh, the correct time is now 9:48 and a fraction.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You have just heard the correct time. And now station CORN presents... The Tub of Silver. Yes, The Tub of Silver. The show you've all been waiting for. The program that proves it pays to listen. You know the rules, folks. The lucky person who is sitting by his telephone when we call him up tonight gets $1,000 absolutely free. Yes, folks, tonight, $1,000 will be given away by the makers of Digby's Non-Dunkable
Donuts.
Yes, Digby's Non-Dunkable Donuts. The donuts laboratory tested and especially designed to eliminate dunking.
By a special patented process, a thin waterproof layer of Digby's edible rubber covers all
Digby's
Non-Dunkable
Donuts.
A Digby donut cannot absorb coffee. Plunge it into your cup, it bounces. Immerse it slyly, it floats. Housewives everywhere hail this dunk-proof delicacy. Mrs. Dulce of Oklahoma writes,
My husband, Rodney, was a dunking fool. Rodney's hobby was pouring his coffee out into the saucer and spanking it with his cruller. Lord, I used to get up from the table covered with Maxwell House freckles.
And then you tried a Digby, Mrs. Dulce?
Yep. I fed Rodney Digby's non-dunkable donuts for 2 weeks. Rodney stopped dunking.
Thank you.
Rodney stopped breathing, too.
Oh.
Well, now, remember, folks, the Digby slogan. No pop, no sop, no slop. The next time you buy Digby.
Non-dunkable.
You know.
And now we present our Tub of Silver Master of Ceremonies, the genial band leader, Norris. Step!
Thank you, Sam, and good evening all. Well, folksies, I know you're all waiting to hear how the $1,000 prize was spent by last week's lucky winner, Mr. Olaf Drab of Stilton, Oregon. Well, it seems that after getting the good news last week, Mr. Drab had a sudden heart attack. But with that $1,000, he's sitting back in an oxygen tent, living on the fat of the land. Good luck, Olaf Drab. And now for tonight's Tub of Silver. Take it, Sam.
Right, Norris. Everybody has a chance at the Tub of Silver, folks. Right here in the studio, we have every phone book in the country. Norris will spin our giant selector, and we'll see which book contains the name of tonight's lucky winner. Take it, Norris.
Okay, Sam. But before I spin the giant selector, folksies, let's have some music. It's time to dance as the orchestra plays I Got Rhythm. That was I Got Rhythm, folks. We're rushing things right along to get to that lucky winner. And now for our first spin of the giant selector. Here she goes, folks. Whee! And the wheel is spinning around. It's up, it's down, it's up, and it stops.
Oh!
Time out, folks. The giant selector is caught on Sam's pants here.
Well, I'm sorry, Norris. I just bent over to tie my shoe. I thought you were up to your tricks again.
That's one on Sam, folks. Well, I'll spin her again. Here she goes. And she's up. She's down. She's stopping. No, she's starting again. No, she's stopping. And the lucky number is 266. Take it, Sam.
Right, Norris. Tonight's winner is in phone book 266. Take it, Norris.
Okay, Sam. And now, folks, how about a little music? Yes, go, boy. That's all. That's all, brother. Now let's find that lucky page in phone book 266. Take it, Sam.
Right, Norris. And now let's find that lucky page in phone book 266. Take it, Norris.
Okay, Sam. And now let's find that lucky page in... Oh, say, what is this? We're not getting anywhere here,
well,
Sam.
Somebody's typed the scripts up wrong, Norris.
And we're holding up that lucky winner, you and me, Sam. Well, I'll spin the giant selector again.
Let her go, Norris.
Whee! And she whirls around. She's up. She's down. She's stopping. She's starting again. No, she's stopping again.
Norris.
She's starting again. She's up.
Norris.
She's down. Up, down.
Norris.
She's sideways.
Hey, Norris, for crying out loud, the thing stopped long ago.
Oh. Sorry, folks. I was looking at a dame in the front row. And she stopped on number 172. Take it, Sam.
You bet. Take it, Norris.
Okay, Sam. I got it back again, folks. And while I spin the wheel, we have another musical number. And this time our tenor, Kenny Clambake, sings Our Sweet Mystery of Life.
Oh, sweet mystery.
Thank you, Kenny. The giant selector has stopped again, folks, and she's on number 35. Take it, Sam.
Right, Norris. And the winner is the 35th name down on page 172 of phone book 266. Norris is putting through the call now.
Hello,
Norris
operator.
putting through the call.
Hello.
And in just a minute, we'll hear the lucky winner's voice as he gets the $1,000 Tub of Silver prize. Here's Norris with the winner now.
Hello.
Here's Norris with the winner now. Come on, Norris, get step on.
Well, I'm doing all I can. I'm calling the thing up. I can't if they don't have...
Any minute now, Norris will be along with the lucky winner. Come on, Norris.
Well, I'm trying, Sam. I can't. Hello.
Well, it's about time.
Colonel Jason Oglethorpe, at your service, sir.
Well, congratulations, Colonel. This is the Tub of Silver calling.
Who?
The Tub of Silver.
Tell me who?
Silver.
Who is this, William Jennings Brown?
No, this is a radio program in New York City. We want to give you $1,000.
$1,000, sir?
Yes, Colonel. Real United States currency.
You mean northern money?
Yes, sir.
I never touched the stuff, sir.
You what?
I'm from the old suit, sir. I ain't even looked north for 50 years.
But, Colonel...
Someday we'll get that Yankee Selznick for cutting the wall down to 4 hours. Good day, sir.
Operator. Colonel Oglethorpe won't take the dough, Sam.
Well, he must be nuts. And speaking of dough and nuts, folks, don't forget, Digby's non-dunkable donuts have won the coveted Digby seal of approval. Digby's come in 5 luscious flavors. Soggy, pretty soggy, extra soggy, too soggy, and wow, get a stomach pump. And now we go merrily back to Norris Step.
Well, what are we going to do, Sam?
Well, we've got to do something, Norris. Imagine not being able to get rid of $1,000.
Gad, this never happens on the Pot of Gold program. This is a fiduciary dilemma.
What's going on here?
Oh, here comes the sponsor, Mr. Digby.
Here, Dep. What's the idea of mentioning that certain program on my program?
Well, I only said Pot of Gold.
Don't say that. The Pot of Gold is my biggest rival. It's an out-and-out imitation of my program. If they hadn't originated it, I'd sue.
What are we going to do with this $1,000, Mr. Digby? I can't give it away.
Well, you've got to. If you don't give that $1,000 away in 5 minutes, Dep, you're fired. I knew I should have renewed Orson Welles.
Dad, 5 minutes. We've got to work fast,
Well,
Sam.
I put in a call to San Francisco while you were talking to Digby.
Good work, Sam. This must be your Frisco call now. Hello? San Francisco?
Mayor, Chinatown talking.
Look, Charlie, this is the tub of silver. I want to give you $1,000.
No, sabby, $1,000.
It's money. Money. You savvy money? You got 'em yen?
You bet. Got 'em yen for Ann Sheridan. Yoo-hoo!
Gad, an Oriental Harvard man.
Confound it, we're stymied again.
What's not going on here? We've only got 2 more minutes, Dep.
I'm still calling, Mr. Digby.
Calling. I'm not trying to get Philip Morris. I'm trying to give away $1,000.
But nobody wants
Well,
it.
maybe $1,000 isn't enough. Make it $10,000. Make it $50,000.
$50,000?
Yes, if we don't get rid of this money, the Pot of Gold will laugh us out of radio.
All right, I'll call another number.
Call any number.
Hello, operator. Get me Wilkins 5-2000.
Make it fast, Dep. You've only got 30 seconds left.
Don't worry. I'll make it, Mr. Digby. Hello?
Yes?
This is the Tub of Silver calling. We would like to give you $50,000.
What? Well,
Oh, please take it,
Well,
mister.
yes, of course. Thank you very much. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Well,
You'll
I
get
don't
our
know.
check. You'll get our check in the
Yes,
morning.
thank you very much.
Eureka, I made it, Mr. Digby. I gave away the money.
Fine. What number did you call? I was eating an aspirin while you were talking.
Oh, I just called any old number. Wilkins 5-2000.
Well, Wilkins 5-2000?
Just came to me.
Came to you? Dep, you confounded nitwit, you're fired.
Fired?
Yes, fired. Do you know whose number Wilkins 5-2000 is?
Not?
Yes. You just gave $50,000 to the Pot of Gold.
Not so many years ago, a new and thoroughly modern toothpaste was made available to you, Mr. and Mrs. Consumer. That dentifrice was Ipana. It made many friends and kept them. So many, in fact, that today Ipana is the largest selling toothpaste in America. And there's a very close parallel between your choice and the choice of dentists. For in a recent survey among dentists, a survey, by the way, in which we had no part, it was found that more dentists personally use Ipana toothpaste than any other dentifrice of any type. Now, the reason for such high public and professional regard can be summed up in the 2 following short sentences.
First, Ipana toothpaste is unsurpassed for cleaning teeth. Second, and even more important, when used with massage, Ipana helps give your gums the toning and stimulation they need for firmness and health.
Those extra advantages are yours for the asking, ladies and gentlemen. Simply ask your druggist for a tube of the toothpaste that is recommended and used by so many dentists themselves. Ipana toothpaste.
Well, another hour has crept into the limbo of passé 60 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. And before we give you our closing cry of Wake Up America, may we remind you that next Wednesday night we bring you cooking hints, how to make fritters.
What should I do after I grease my pan?
Put on a veil, lady. You'll look terrible.
Your song of the week.
Take me back to my stool and my Coca-Cola.
Wait a minute, Benet. Just a minute, Benet. That's boots and saddle, not stool and Coca-Cola, isn't
I'm
it?
a drugstore cowboy, bud.
Oh, I didn't. And our guest will be...
Mr. T. He, director of Walt Disney's cinematic masterpiece, Pinocchio.
And music.
The selection When Love Beckoned is from Dewberry Was a Lady. This is the National Broadcasting Company.